No, I'm good. There are still a couple seats available, so you can find some seats available, some free seats over there. So come, please take a seat. Bonjour à toutes, bonjour à tous. Bienvenue à Montréal. Welcome all to Montreal. My name is Jérémie Voix. I'm the General Chair of this Congress. And this is really my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all for this opening ceremony. So you may wonder, and I should actually find my clicker here. You may wonder where we are. So we are actually in this Hotel Bonaventure on a little island in the middle of you see a larger hotel, and that's the aerial view, and here is actually the island we are on. So we are on a little island on the island of Montreal, and this is surrounded by the Saint River, and you know that Montreal is the major city in Quebec. Province of Quebec is actually is one of those French-speaking territories, so we are actually the only officially French-speaking province of Canada, hence my strong accent. Why this logo? Why a bridge? Well, I thought really that the bridge was a nice symbol to make connections between territories, between people, between cities and universities. So really something that goes over the dark waters and avoid the sink inside the dark and the frigid waters. So speaking of bridges, this bridge is called the Jacques Cartier Bridge. Jacques Cartier, just to go back in history, was and this is the bridge, was actually the founder or discoverer of Canada. And back, you see here his first travel. You see the man coming from France and discovering what he thought would be India, but that was Canada. Later on, it became Canada. So that was a slight mistake in terms of compass. But later on, it was followed by a lot of pilgrims and settlers. And one of them has now been turned into a bridge. And that bridge, believe it or not, has been built over the last 4 years. So in Canada, we enjoy building, bridges. Basically, this is really what we do well. We don't build walls. We build bridges. So that one was just inaugurated last week. And it's named after the Samuel de Champlain, who was, again, another great explorer. He came 29 times from France to what would become the Nouvelle France. Back again in the days, and that was obviously, I spoke about two French people that settled here, province of Quebec, and you are coming from a lot of countries. You are all coming from different places. I admire that. You're coming from 52 countries, and you can see the numbers are striking. We have a very good delegation from China mainland, and this is very interesting. That's a little bit of a challenge as well as an organizer. I had this morning in my email 12 cancellations just because of visa issues that were really late minute, people that didn't receive it, maybe started the process a little bit late, but long story is that they are not here, and that's unfortunate. That would be something Franck, the technical and scientific chair, will mention. There may be some people that won't be able to make it, so there may be some blanks in the program, and we apologize for that. Those people are obviously very sorry. So how many are we left? Well, if you look on the left, you see that we are 859 attendees running in 827 sessions or presentations. And we obviously use a lot an app for the program, because although you did receive a paper copy of the program and of the whole 3.5 days, you'll acknowledge that this is a lot of activities, and this is hard to put and to keep on a simple sheet of paper. So for that schedule, which is quite complex, we really invite you to install the app. So if you logged in on the Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi is ICSV26, you'll be prompted to install this app, which is very convenient to find everything regarding the scientific aspect of this conference, but also some of the social aspects. So speaking about social, I'm very happy to tell you that we'll be all greeting you tonight during our opening ceremony. And that will be during our welcome reception. That will be at 7 o'clock in that exact same room. So we'll see you there. And we have a couple events as well for the IIAV members. And that's really something that you could be inspired or could inspire you to enroll into the IIAV membership. And you have an off-site event at the Pyramids, which is a Cirque du Soleil event or by the founder of the Cirque du Soleil. We have for all the students a party tomorrow at 6 p.m. with some beer and Flammenkuche. And we have an off-site event at the Museum of Archaeology and History of Montreal for the IIAV members again. We will meet all together again on Wednesday night for the gala banquet, again in that same room you're in. And that will be all night long. And then you still have a couple tickets that are available for that event, but book that during the coffee break because we have to secure the food and beverages. And finally, I will skip because I'm running a little bit short over the scientific visits. They will be taking place tomorrow. And we have 3 scientific visits. Unfortunately, you had to be enrolled into those programs. So we can see if there are no shows, you can always try to reach or to sneak in, but that might be a little bit challenging. For any question you may have, you'll see that you have a lot of people that are wearing that black shirt. They are the volunteers, so staff but volunteer. They are usually students, graduate or undergrads, and there are 30 of them. They've been yesterday packing all those bags for you, and we appreciate really much their help. We have as well, because we believe in the youth and young people, we have some friendly initiative to be a little bit more environmentally aware or conscious. And those are, you can read that on the poster. On the paper copy, you have a couple initiatives we really appreciate you supporting. We do as well have in the editorial of the International Journal of Acoustics and Vibration some clarification with Franck, because the number to guess today is that all our travels from all your cities and countries will be emitting 1,446 tons of CO2. So that's exactly what we want to cancel or actually balance planting trees. So thank you for that help. And without further transition, I will just invite now Franck. You'll see him on the right hand side. I will ask him to join me on stage to give you a couple indications on the rest of your day. Thank you, Franck.
Thank you, Jérémie, and welcome to Montreal. So I just want to give you a little background on the scientific committee. We are the two of us, Jérémie and I, as you can recognize. We are all together bald, so it's easy to recognize us. We have 31 theme area chairs and 21 members of the local scientific committee, and also 10 members of the International Scientific Committee. So all the people you see come for the local scientific committee come from the various universities in Montreal or around. So namely, for example, University of Sherbrooke is not part of Montreal, but we consider as they are. And also some research center like Jacques, and also people from the industry like Bombardier and Hydro-Québec. And also some people from the International Scientific Committee, from all around the world. The technical program, we have about 15 theme areas with 45 structural sessions and 31 regular sessions. So you can see all the theme areas here. Okay. And here you have the various theme area chairs with the, and I want to take this opportunity to thank them for all their contribution to this event. We have also the opportunity to have 6 plenary lectures, as you can see them here. So Raymond Panton from Canada, Robert Parkham from the USA, Megan Clayards from Canada, McGill, Belongyu from China, and we have a little change to the initial program. As you can see, John Casali, who was supposed to make the plenary lecture on Wednesday, won't be able to make it. So Mr. Rupert Thornick-Taylor accepted to replace him, and thank you very much for that. And the last speaker would be Guillaume Hayat from France. Some administrative matters. So for those who have not done yet, you can upload your presentation in the speaker ready room in Notre Dame 1. Also, as Jérémie said, I won't spend much time on this, but it's very, useful and necessary to download and install the app. Everything is in it: the social events, technical program, the proceedings, the lunch and coffee breaks. Everything you need to know is there. For the chairs and also for the speakers, you have to enforce the 15 minutes presentation, 3 minutes for questions, and also 2 minutes for the changes speaker. In case there is someone who doesn't show, as Jérémie said, there are many people who have cancelled at the last minute, unfortunately. Chairman must stick to the initial schedule. So we should wait for the next speaker and not go directly to substituting speakers. And also, we want to stimulate the discussion during the no-show break. And finally, just very quickly, you know that there is the International Journal of Acoustics and Vibration, which publishes the best papers of the conference. So in case of the outstanding presentation, the chairman should recommend the presentation and put their comment in the application directly. If you have any question, you can ask Jérémie. He knows how he will tell you how to do that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. And this is now my great pleasure to invite Professor Malcolm Crocker. He's the executive president of the IIAV, and I will be explaining you in 10 minutes 25 years of that amazing story. Thank you, Malcolm.
Well, thank you, Jérémie. As Jérémie said, we were in Montreal 25 years ago. So I'd like to just tell you a little bit about the history. The congresses started in my university, Auburn University in the USA. The first one was in 1990, in 1992. But in 1993, we chose Montreal. And Richard Guy from Concordia University and I worked together and managed to put together a congress. We'd had 264 delegates from 35 countries. So just a little bit now about the Congress. The Book of Proceedings, you can see, was in 3 volumes. It had 1,600 pages. So each author presenting had a written paper about 8 pages long. And you can see here a number of societies that supported the Congress. And you can see Richard Guy, Dr. Krishnappa, who has unfortunately passed away, and myself, the main organizers. So at Montreal one evening, 10 scientists got together and said, we must really have an organization to carry on these congresses. And it was agreed to try to incorporate the organization, and that happened next year. And we approached Sir James Lighthill, who was very famous, who had been the director of the Royal Aircraft Establishment in UK, at Farnborough, and also been the rector of college in London, University College. And he agreed to be the first founding president. And our next Congress, really the first one put on by the IIAV, was held in Russia, in St. Petersburg. And you can see here, I and Nikolai Ivanov, Professor Ivanov, edited the Book of Proceedings. And you can see here the founders of the IIAV. On the left, à la gauche, sur la gauche, is David Newland from Cambridge University. Then Sir James, the next one. And moving to the right, Hanno Heller from Germany, Braunschweig, Germany, and myself. And this photograph was taken in 1996, then in St. Petersburg. It was also agreed to found a journal for IAV, and the first one was published in December 1995. And again, Professor Ivanov on the left, sur la gauche was the editor-in-chief, and Sir James and myself, we signed an agreement for the journal. And here is one recent copy of the journal. The journal now is published as open access on the internet, and we don't any longer print it on paper. It was agreed to have executive committee meetings of the officers, so we held an election for officers, and the members, the initial members, voted, and to hold meetings once a year at the congresses and a board of directors meeting. So this is the second board of directors meeting. You can see on the far left, sur la gauche, David Newland and Hanno Heller, and Sir James on the left too, and Dr. Krishnappa here from Canada in the foreground. So that was held in Australia in 1997, our next Congress. The Congress is now, you can see, I'm afraid it's a little bit small, you can see all over the world. And the last one shown is London in 2017. And last year we held a successful Congress in Hiroshima, Japan. And here are just a few pictures of the logos of different congresses. Vienna, in Beijing, we were in Egypt, in Cairo, and Lithuania, and even in Bangkok, Thailand. We have almost 50 societies around the world supporting IAV as cooperating societies. So you can see some of them here. And we have study awards. We support some students in countries where they have very little resources, and we have travel awards. And this year, 2 young people are coming from Ukraine on the travel awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you very much. So I will now invite the president of the IIAV to join me on stage, and so Professor Eleonora Carletti will present you a little bit that association we just heard the foundation of, and you use the mics.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, so on behalf of the officers and the directors of the International Institute of Acoustic and Vibration, I would like to start off by thanking the Canadian Acoustical Association, its president, Jérémie Voix, who is also the general chair of this Congress, the scientific chair, Franck Sgard, and all the local operating committee, organizing committee, for the excellent work in organizing, putting in the organization of this conference. So now I would like to steal only a few minutes from you to introduce the International Institute of Acoustic and Vibration, because among the many participants, not all of the participants are members of the Institute. As you already heard from Malcolm, the International Institute of Acoustical and Vibrations, or IIAV, as we call it using the acronyms, was founded is an apolitical, no-profit scientific association, which was founded in 1999 with the purpose to advance sciences of acoustics, vibration, and noise, and increase the exchange of information on these subjects, mainly using two channels, the international scientific events and the scientific journals. Nowadays, the IIAV comprises about 200 individual members and over 50 cooperating scientific societies, as you saw before, which really are an integral part of the Institute. It has a refereed open access scientific international journal, the International Journal of Acoustic and Vibrations, in which all the members of the Institute can publish free of charge. The members of IIAV are also invited to attend every year the ICSV Congress at a reduced fee, and also they have the opportunity to join a special event reserved to them during the frame of the Congress. So I think that to become a member of IIAV is a great opportunity, not only for the economical benefit I have above mentioned, but in particular because this gives the opportunity to become part of an international network of researchers, engineers, and so to enlarge the cycle of, as regards the work relationships, but also the friendship. So I suggest you becoming member of IIAV, but in the meantime, I hope you all can enjoy this Congress and the technical exhibition. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Eleonora. Thank you very much. I think they also the benefit of being in those special IIAV events on Tuesday night, and will definitely take a different position next year. So now this is time to invite one of our early supporters in this adventure that we had together with Franck. And I welcome Mrs. Marie Larue from IRSST, head of the Quebec Health and Safety Research Institute, that are, as you can recognize from the logo, the supporting association helping this conference. Thank you very much for this support.
Thank you. You're welcome. Professor Carletti, President of the International Institute on Acoustic and Vibration. Professor Crocker, Executive Director. Professor Jérémie Voix, I will say just Jérémie, Executive Director, the President of this, General Chair of this Congress. Franck Sgard, Dr. Franck Sgard, Scientific Chair of this Congress. Scientists, engineers, researchers in occupational health and safety. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames, messieurs, bonjour. On behalf of all employees of the Research Institute here in Montreal, and on my behalf as a President and CEO of the Institut de Recherche Robert Sauvé en Santé et Sécurité du Travail, I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you on this 26th International Congress on Sound and Vibration. Founded in 1980, the IRSST is one of the leading OSH research centers in Canada. This institute conducts and funds research activities aiming at eliminating risk to workers in terms of health and safety, and at promoting worker rehabilitation. Because when primary prevention fails, we do have to rehabilitate people. Our involvement in the organization of this annual scientific meeting may feel funny, but it's very logical. It sounds logical. Our institute has carried out and financed since the very first years many scientific projects which aim at to improve the control of noise and vibration sources in different workplaces and in the conception of machines and equipment, which is far more important. Because if we do not succeed in that, by doing that, we will have sick workers all over the planet. Despite the major stride forward made in noise and vibration prevention, the situation remains of concern, not only in Quebec, but also all over the world. But here in Quebec, the noise and hearing loss problem shows the most important increase during the last 2 decades in terms of number of accepted occupational injuries. Even though they represent less than 7% of the injuries, they account for 22% of the total costs. Those costs are mainly human costs and wage replacement and loss of productivities. For their parts, the injuries caused by vibration fell mainly in 2 categories: whole body vibration and arm hand vibration. In here, they account for 1% of the total injury. But for each injury that is accepted, they require half a year of sick leave to be able for the worker to go back to work, and very often in a different type of work because he's been permanently injured. On the basis of these figures, research mapping, scientific monitoring, the need expressed by our social partners and by the OSH community, OSH means Occupational Health and Safety, the IRSST is committed to continue and develop thematic programs and disseminating research results. In the area of noise and hearing loss, the research work continues in 3 thematic programs here in Montreal: acoustic barriers and materials for noise control, evaluation and modeling for hearing protection devices, and alarm signals in the workplace. Nowadays, the role of research in occupational health and safety is multifaceted. It reveals and characterizes problems, it gives them dimension, but it's also pointing out avenues of solution. The recent and ongoing research carried out in sound and vibration area are no exception to this rule. The IRSST in-house researcher, as well as our external and international research collaborators, put their heads together to produce more research results in our workplaces while maintaining the highest neutrality between the social partners. Collaborating with national and international partners makes it easier for all of us to achieve a critical mass of research, to obtain evidence-based results as fast as we can, and to expand our research to address as many areas as possible. This 26th International Congress on Sound and Vibration will be a great opportunity to share experience and learn from our colleagues. I sincerely hope that the outcome of this Congress will also provide the opportunity to enhance and build international research collaboration between you and with us. Before ending, please let me pay tribute to Professor Jérémie Voix and to Dr. Franck Sgard, who have worked a lot. They are both the first recipient of the Ambassadors Joint Club Award, a collaborative initiative between IRSST and the Palais des Congrès de Montréal, which supports efforts to attract international OSH events here in Montreal. Bringing this 26th International Congress on Sound and Vibration this year in Montreal was largely due to the work done by those 2 researchers and their team. I wish you a great and fruitful Congress and hope you enjoy the many charms of Montreal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Larue. And again, we cannot highlight enough how supportive that was from IRSST to have Franck Sgard on our side to organize all this technical and scientific event. So on that note, we'll move to another supporter that has been mentioned, which is the Canadian Acoustical Association, which is also, you can recognize the logo on your pamphlet. And since I happen to be the president of that association, I ask our editor-in-chief, Professor Umberto Berardi, to give you, on behalf of the association, a little explanation. And I thank him for accepting the challenge.
Thanks,
Thank you.
So, Professor Carletti, Professor Crocker, delegates, dear research engineers, welcome actually to Montreal. It is my great pleasure, although I'm not really Canadian, to kind of support this conference as a member of the Officio of the Canadian Acoustical Society. So I'm actually acting in this association as the editor-in-chief of their journal, and I want actually to spend a really few minutes to just present you the association, hoping that actually you can get a sense of it. And if you haven't actually enough of my voice, we have a booth in the exhibition, and over there you're going to find more information. As you can imagine, Canada is a huge country, but not really with a lot of population. So our association is a kind of a nice niche association. It was funded actually over 50 years ago, actually here in Montreal. It was actually the beginning of the first few meetings of this association that currently has around 300 people. So it's still a very small kind of association. And we are spread around actually the different provinces of Canada from the east to the west. And actually we try to tie together all the activity in acoustics. We have actually quite significant presence among different international bodies. But more importantly, I want to tell you a couple of things that may be of interest of you. First of all, we are actually proudly sponsoring since 1973 the Canadian Acoustic Journal. This is actually a kind of a nice journal that we still print every 3 months. And I happen actually just by case to be the editor-in-chief as Jérémie used to be, but then actually became the president, and he has so many hats that at one point he decided to step down from editor-in-chief. And this actually journal is quite unique in many sense. First of all, you don't pay a fee. Second, it becomes an open access. It gets printed. It has all the indexes that you may actually desire to have. So it's a nice venue if you are actually looking to a venue to publish your research presented here in Montreal or moving forward in your next future career. Another actually step that makes actually us quite proud of our activity is that we do an yearly conference, mainly actually our main source of revenue, because the journal is really a cost for the association. But through that kind of conference, we try to gain enough money that we can then distribute among students. So we have over actually almost 9 awards per year that allow us to distribute something in the range of 10,000 Canadian dollars per year among overall 9 grants, 2 of which are postdoctoral grants, and they tend to be kind of much more significant. We typically try to meet every year. You probably were last year in Victoria, where we had our kind of Acoustics Week conference. And this year we are going to go to Edmonton, so kind of in the middle of the country. And then next year we're going to go to Sherbrooke, not too far from Montreal, and then St. John's. And so if you happen actually to be interested in coming back to Canada, we have all the pamphlets of the different conferences that moving forward we will organize in the next few years. So I'm not going to take more than this. I want to welcome, on behalf of the Canadian Acoustic Association, all of you. You are 900 people. That means actually 3 times our overall kind of registered in the association. We typically have an acoustics week that house something in the range of 200 people. So it's really, really a privilege in this year, after the Victoria Conference with the Acoustical Association of America, to have a second large international venue. And I hope actually you will enjoy not only these 3 days in Montreal, but moving forward, you will keep staying in Quebec and actually enjoying beyond the city. Have a wonderful rest of the conference.
Good job, good job. Thank you very much for that. This is now time to last presentation. That's a little bit of housekeeping issues. I'll let Franck give you the last directive and as well introduce our keynote presenter. And I wish you all a very nice congress. And don't hesitate if you have any question, any issues, come to me or Frank. Thank you very much.